The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stuart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes.
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
Everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I'm going to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Hey, welcome to my Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Show. And I am trying to get the live feed to work. I don't know why my camera's not operating, but life goes on, right? Maybe I'll give it to Evan. He can figure it out. So I'll be a little late with my live. The camera was working, but then it shut down on me. I don't know what happened. All right, so welcome to the Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Show. Without any further ado, let's get on with the show. Today's topic is going to be about the 4 most important things you can do to help you to start and to be on a path to health and wellness. Okay, and this comes from a book called Rays of the Dawn, and it's written back in 1935. And this is literally a handbook to health. And I'll give you a little tease before I get into the intro here. And it really has to do with the law of nourishment, the law of movement, the law of recuperation, and the law of what we call sanitation. These are the four laws of the body. And until you get past the laws of the body, it's really hard to have any health beside that, and we're going to go over each one briefly, but with enough so you can get some information today. My name is Dr. Tred Rizacker. If you've just tuned in, I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I've been in practice for over 33 years. I graduated from Cleveland Chiropractic College in Kansas City, Missouri, back in 1989. I was 29 years old and full of information and knowledge, and I went up to work for my father in New York. He was a chiropractor for over 51 years before I even started. All right, and there we go, and we are now on with a little bit of light issue here, but that's all right. We're good. Evan's the man. If you ever need your Facebook fixed, anything, pressing me lately with his knowledge, his techie knowledge. So I want to show you my shirt today. For those of you who are tuning in and looking at it. Yes. It says Bitcoin. I'm going to go over that a little bit today too. And the reason why is without money, it's really hard to survive. Money is how we exchange value back and forth with each other. We used to barter and trade seashells and coins and stuff, and now money is going digital. And if you don't believe it, I want to ask you in 5 or 10 years, it's already digital, but now it's going to be stored on computers. Can you believe that? Your money is going to be stored on computers, not in the bank, not in a vault, not with some government's promise. It's going to be within a software program that everybody's going to be able to access on the computer. And if you think that they can shut off the internet, they can ban parts of it, but the internet has gone beyond that, where now it can be shared from computer to computer. So we really don't even need these computer, these service providers anymore. It's just more convenient, but the technology has gone to the point where we can share it wirelessly, and that's huge. So I'm going to go over that a little bit today because I'm kind of excited about it. So I like to talk about things that interest me and would also interest you. So the name of my office, and if you're interested in a laser weight loss consulting free consultation with me, which is my main business, it's called the Slim Body Laser Spa, Dr. Tread Slim Body Laser Spa. I'm located on East Ocean Boulevard, 2311 East Ocean Boulevard, and that would be in Stuart, Florida, right at the intersection of Monterey Road East and Ocean. It's on the way out to the beaches, to Hutchison Island, and it's next to Carmela's Pizza Restaurant and across the street from the Fresh Market. So it used to be the Haagen-Dazs for you long haulers here in Stuart, Florida, the ones that have stayed through. The long hauler. I love that term. They're renaming everything. So, and the Haagen-Dazs was available back when I was in high school, actually. And I remember going there in my 20s and taking dates there for ice cream. And today I now have that building. I'm going on 11 years. We've renovated into a beautiful spa, like a med spa. And we got private rooms, and we have a consultation area, and we have loads and loads of pictures. Not pictures of body parts, but testimonials, 8x10 testimonials, signed, written out in hand by our wonderful, incredible clients that come into the spa. At last count, I counted over 450. We have 350 are on the walls. Great idea of having these almost like a scroll that hangs from the walls. It goes about 4 deep, and they're 8x10 scrolls, and they're hanging with nice ribbons on it, and you can flip people's testimonials. I tell you, the biggest comment that a lot of new people say when they come in and they look at all the testimonials, they're like, oh my goodness, I guess this works. And that was the whole purpose behind the testimonials. In the early days of laser body sculpting, 11 years ago, before cool sculpting even existed, it wasn't even a thought, nor were any of the hot lasers. This process was FDA cleared in 2006. The procedure I'm using, which is simply to use a low-level energy laser to drain the fat cells. It doesn't damage the tissue. It uses a very low energy to help the tissue, the fat cells, to release the contents, water, glycerol, and fatty acid. And then your body absorbs the water is urinated out very quickly, as it would naturally. And then the fatty acid and the glycerol is then absorbed by the lymphatic system, and that's brought into your metabolism, and then you burn it as energy over the next 2 hours. So for the process to work, it's better if you're hungry when you come in for a visit. So no food 2 hours before. Lay on your back, music, relax, take a nap. We apply the laser for 30 minutes to the fatty areas that you want to reduce and shrink. And then you move into an area called the whole body vibration room, which is a plate that you stand on. It kind of moves you side to side. It helps to get rid of it helps improve your circulation. And then over the next 2 hours, you burn those calories. Every time you do that procedure, you will lose about 1/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch, measured in 3 different spots, around your midsection. It could be 1/8 of an inch on your arms. It could be as much as 1/2 inch to 1 inch girth on your legs if we put it on your thighs. You can put it under your chin. You can put it on your back fat. You can put it anywhere that you have an accumulated of fat, of loose skin combined with adipose tissue. And every time, I mean, it tightens, it tones, it makes a person, maybe you've been losing weight and older, and now you're starting to see this. As long as it's not too bad, let's be realistic. We can help you enormously with that, without any surgery, without any downtime at all. Maybe you're having some hormonal issues. You're getting older, and as a result of that, you're struggling with metabolism. Everything you eat seems to put weight on. The normal weight loss skills that you were brought up with, exercise, and skipping meals is what most people do for weight loss, isn't working anymore. That's because it might not be about food. Your body accumulates body fat when you need energy, and when you need to store energy for a future, like a fasting, like a famine, and your ancestors called that winter. So if you were getting ready to go into a long winter and you weren't sure if you were going to have any calories available, you're going to make sure that you eat a lot in the fall to put on extra weight. Go into that cave or that hut or wherever it is you're living, and then you will burn off that fat over the next 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 months. And then you eat again in the summer. That's one of the reasons for this outer compartment. The third reason for that outer compartment is it's where mom stores calories when she gets pregnant. So the future of the human race, the ability to have children and to continue, is a very, very important part of humanity, of our human experience. And we were created by an intelligence that knew that when mom's 10,000 years ago or gets pregnant, she's probably not going to be saving food for the baby. She doesn't even know really what's happening. There was no education. There was no Dr. Spock back then. There was no Wikipedia to find out what to do when you're pregnant. But what happens is it has to do with your hormones. So when mom gets pregnant, a female gets pregnant, she stops making progesterone. Her estrogen and progesterone ratio changes, and she's no longer having a period. That's how you know you're pregnant. Before they had EPT testing, early pregnancy test. You missed your period. And as a result of that, you will start to make fat when you eat food. Instead of you burning it very easily, it gets stored in the outer compartment. The stuff that's around your belly, around your legs, your hips, and your thighs. And after 9 months of being pregnant without a period, you can put on 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds on the outer fat. The baby is irrespective of that. The baby is in the womb, in your behind your muscle, but this outer fat is what populates when you're pregnant. And then when the baby is born and you start to feel the gushy love of a child, you start producing hormones. One of them is called oxytocin. And oxytocin is produced when when it's time to breastfeed. And also HCG, believe it or not, human chorionic gonadotrophin, which is what they use to stimulate fat loss, is HCG. But females that just give birth have a lot of that in their bloodstream. And that allows the fat to be released in increments to be able to support the child. Because remember, that baby can't eat food, it has to eat, it gets breast milk from its mother. And that fat is imperatively important to make sure that you have that extra calories for at least 9 months to a year, to even 2 years. Think about it. So, and then when the period comes back, when mom starts having normal menstrual cycle, 2 months to 2 years after the pregnancy, now her hormone relationship becomes balanced again. She's making progesterone and estrogen just like she did before she was pregnant. And now she can become lean and muscular again. So high estrogen, low progesterone leads you to be vulnerable to becoming outer fat weight, skinny but fat on the outside. Baby's born, hormones come back, and then you can be lean and muscular again. And that's how they get off the weight. So what happens to a lot of people, including men, because they still have hormonal changes when they become 40 and menopause starts to happen, or they have a lot and they start to produce high levels of cortisol, and they're eating foods that are endocrine disruptors. There's certain foods that mimic high estrogen, such as your chemicals, your preservatives, your processed foods, some soy products, some dairy products have high estrogen. They're estrogen disruptors, endocrine disruptors. And they will lead you to have an early menopause where you're not having a normal cycle. So does birth control, can affect this too. And then what happens is we start to gradually accumulate fat in the outer compartment, the subcutaneous. In females, it's the stomach, the sides, their love handle, their muffin tops, their hips and their thighs. And that's from the change in the hormone profile. And if you're a man and you're over 50, it's called andropause instead of menopause. Andro means male sex hormone. And you're having testosterone because you're not exercising as much. You're eating processed food. You're drinking more dairy products and things, and usually a little bit of alcohol. And they will start to get these enormous bellies, you see, and the fat around the midsection. Not necessarily in the legs, hips, or thighs like females. Men will develop the dreaded male boobs. Moobs, they call them, as Mike used to say here at the radio. Moobs. And this is from these changes in your hormonal profile. And I promise you, if you're suffering from these hormonal issues, 1,000 sit-ups and 500 calories a day is not going to change that outer fatty layer, which is why people go for liposuction and all these other processes. Because when you're over 50, your outer fat, the subcutaneous compartment that you can squish between your fingers, disconnects from your visceral fat. When you're in your right after puberty, 15, 16, 17 years old, up until you're 45 or 50, those two here holds to those people because they have hormonal profiles, and the food they eat, they can burn it very quickly simply by running and exercising and cutting back on calories. They see it all the way around their body. But when you get over 40 or 50, I call it the thickening. It's the thickening of our midsection. We start to look like a block. Whereas before you had that nice shape where your hips and you had that nice hourglass figure. Now that you're 50, 60 years old, we become like a block of wood. It's just thick. And it doesn't look very attractive for some people. We're not as likely to get looks from people from opposite sex. It's something that really, really is bothersome for a lot of people. And they really try hard to make that hourglass or that shape come back. And then they hit the diet and the exercise, and the results are very difficult to attain. So the purpose of my FDA cleared laser lipo procedure is you can easily lose inches around your midsection 6 in only 3 weeks. And that would be 1 to 4 inches of girth in only 3 to 4 weeks, literally lying on your back listening to music. I did it myself. I've helped thousands, 4, 5, 6,000 people through the process at the Slim Body Laser Spa. 650 have left their 8x10 signed testimonials at the spa for you to look at if you don't think that it works. No one's ever been burned at the spa. We've never had any side effects from the process. It's a natural process that's congruent with how your body would normally get rid of body fat. It's not creating dead tissue. It's not damaging tissue cells. There is no risk, absolutely no risk of something called fat migration, which happens after anytime you remove tissue, such as with liposuction, the cool sculpting, which burns and freezes the tissue, so your body has to remove it as tissue. The Sculpture, which is a hot laser which melts the tissue underneath the skin, the fat. And then some of the ones that are non-invasive, like the this magnetron thing that they put this big magnet pads on your stomach and it pulses. There's many brands of it, but it's basically using electromagnetic frequency, to cause the muscle to contract and relax very aggressively. And that claims to burn fat, yet I've never seen that in any studies. And it can help bring tonicity back because it's exercising the muscle like a therapy. But as far as it getting rid of massive amounts of subcutaneous fat, I don't really see that as something that really happens. However, they sure claim some big results from it. But when I've been to those offices and I talk to people, they never have the testimonials. They might have a few with somebody's first name and a last initial, Joan D or Paul F, and then when you come to my spa, it's pretty obvious that the testimonials are written by the people. And that's very, very important. There's so much. They say that 60% of most of the information to 80% of information on the internet is false. I mean, let's be realistic. It's over promising, exaggeration, grandizing procedures and things, reviews, people that are paid. They set up study groups and support websites that are paid for by the people that are trying to increase your desire to want to come in. It's full of this. So one thing that's very effective about radio, which is what we're doing here today in Stewart, is you can call up, you can ask questions, you can come into the office. This is a public platform, and you're held to a higher standard when anybody could be listening, right? Judges, political, people that are fact checkers could be listening. Your clients that have been with you before listen, and and then you go out to workshops and shows and different events in the local area, the seafood festival, the art festival, and we have a booth set up, and there I am. You can come up and ask questions, and so it's important because truth and honesty is really important when it comes to anything you do in life. The internet can either make you a hero or make you a zero in about a week if you don't do the right thing. All right. So if you're interested in finding out if we can help you with your weight loss and your body sculpting, we have free consultations. You just log on to my website, Dr. Tread's Slim Body Laser Spa, and hit the contact page. Excuse me. And you will get it'll come in as a lead from AWeber, which is an autoresponder. And then my staff, as soon as they receive it, they should call you right back. Sometimes it might be a couple hours to even the next day, but we do follow up on them very carefully. You can also call on the phone line, the old telephone, if you remember those days, 772-223-5885. We also have an email, Slim Body Laser Spa, just how it's spelled, Slim Body Laser Spa @gmail.com. And you can do a Gmail and we'll get you set up. Or you can just walk in and schedule a consult at the spa. We allow, we have a front desk and we have an area you can sit down. You can read some of the testimonials. And I highly, highly suggest that you go online and you read some of the testimonials and watch some of the videos on my own website. I created that. It's a WordPress site, and it's my own, I do my own website work. I put in my own pictures and the videos, and I link them to the blogs. I do that stuff myself. I don't trust and leave it up to somebody else to do it. And I have tried to have other people do it, but they don't do as good of a job as I do. So love for you to check it out. Tell me what you think about it. The other part which really surprised me was I put in Dr. Tread into the search in YouTube the other day, and I came up with like 6 pages of videos, and most of them came as a result of all of these talks I do at WSTU. And I mean, they go back as far back as Mike Thomas and early with Stephen Melman and Tom Teeter. God rest their souls. They're not here anymore. And when I used to do it with Mr. Bill, who was a host for a little while there, he loves talking on the radio. So I had no problem with getting Mr. Bill here. And so now it's Evan, and Evan seems to be, I think he's hanging out for a while.
I'm not going anywhere.
Here, he's not going anywhere. He loves his job, and he has lots of different jobs. And one of them is to get me onto the Facebook so this camera would turn on today. And I sure appreciate that. All right. So I think we're going to take just maybe a 1-minute break. You got something read up? He's going to punch in something that's important. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go over this 4 most important things about your physical health that you can do today to help you to start being healthier and healthier tomorrow. And we'll be to it in just 1 second. Are we ready for our ad? All right. I think he's ready. Yeah, Evan knows what he's doing. I think I caught him. He was outside looking at the birds. All right. We'll see you soon.
Now back to Stuart Laser Talk here on WSTU 1450. And back to your host, Dr. Tread J. Rizacker.
All righty now. Welcome back to the Slim Body Laser Spa. My name is Dr. Tread Rizacker, and I thank you for tuning in. And, I do laser-assisted weight loss. I'm located on East Ocean Boulevard, right across from the Fresh Market here in Stuart. My website is drtreadslimbodylaserspa.com, or you can put in Stuart Laser Spa, or you could put in Slim Body Laser Spa. All my URLs lead to the same direction. To lose inches, to lose weight, easy, fast, at a price you can afford. I promise you that. We're number one in this business. Nobody is doing what I'm doing at all, anywhere that I know. Now, there might be some people that have machines similar to mine, but they're not attached to the nutritional profiles, the experience we have. They don't use the whole body vibration machines. They're not able to talk about food or make recommendations with nutrition because a lot of them are not doctors, but we are, and that's why we get such incredible results. Okay. Free consultations, by the way. Just give us a call. Tell us you want to come on in, and we will get you going and get you looking better and feeling better. All right. So the first thing I want to go over is, and I promised, is a little bit about this cryptocurrency. And if you're listening, you probably are like, everybody has a lot of different ideas and beliefs about cryptocurrency. But what cryptocurrency is it's money that's becoming digitized. Everything, as we have watched the internet go through its growth phase, things, analog products are being replaced with digital products. You know, the cassette tape that we used to listen to, well, record albums that we used to listen to were then put on cassette tapes, and from cassette tapes they were put onto MP3s. The transition from a tape to an MP3 is digitizing the music. Digital music has better quality. It can be stored. You can put more bytes on something, so you have more music on something very small. And overall, in the beginning, it was very disruptive. You know, record companies had to figure out what to do. You know, they used to own the record stores, and the only way you could get any of their work was to go to the record store after hearing it on the radio. And then all of a sudden, once it became digitized and they put it on the internet, then you could download somebody's, you could share it. It's called a peer-to-peer network. That's what Napster was. It devastated in the beginning the record industry, and all the artists had to scramble to figure out what to do. But there was no way of stopping it because it's technology. And then you look at your telephone. I mean, how many people have landlines at home nowadays? Everybody has their own technology, their own phone that they carry with them. Why pay for 3 phone lines when your portable phone can do everything that you need it to do, and then some? That's disruptive technology. It's changing the world of telephones and communications. And so is, how about if you were in the airline industry and you used to book tickets through a travel agent? You had to go to the travel agent, wait, sit down. They would help you book your tickets. You can do it all online now. You just go on, select the where you want to go. You select Cheap Tickets or Tickets R Us, and you can get your tickets. They're electronically given to you. In other words, everything is going online. And why would money not go online also? You know, why would you have to hold and store dirty paper money, you know, when it can be done digitally? The purpose of a bank. So now with all these digital, you know, money is already pretty much gone digital, whether you know it or not. You know, when's the last time, every time you swipe your ATM or use a credit card, you're paying with a digital record that you have money in the bank, and that money is going to be given to whoever you want it to go, and you're not going to double spend it. And that's what a third party does. The third party, you know, the credit card company, your bank, your financer, they're the ones that manage the fact that you have the money and that you're storing the money and you're not double spending it. So it requires a third party to spend money if you don't have it in your hand, unless you walk up and give somebody cash. You know, if I give you an IOU, how do you know it's truthful? You have no trust. So that's what a third party does. They're the ones that get paid to manage that. Well, that is going away very, very fast. The ability to prove that you have money was solved in 2009, 2008 during the financial crisis. And during that financial crisis, a group of hackers, I don't want to say hackers because that sounds negative. These were people that dealt with cryptographic mathematical equations on the internet, which is cryptography. They developed a software program that allows somebody to have value in you know, that you could trade your cryptographic number with somebody else online, and it could never be changed. It's immutable. Once it goes into what they call a ledger, it never goes away. It stays there unless you give them your cryptographic number to change it. And that's basically the basis behind cryptocurrency. Is there's a ledger called a blockchain, which is stored on multiple computers all around the world. And they all have the same software program that is running. And when you want to share a digital signature, which is what goes into the blockchain with somebody else, it has to go through all the computers and have a consensus that it's your number and it hasn't been changed. And once it solves that equation, it kicks up and says that it verifies your transaction. it doesn't require a third person. There's nobody that has to sit there in a bank or in a financial institution that verifies that your digital signature, whatever is attached to that, is truthful. And that is revolutionizing the ability to trade value back and forth between people. Because if I don't have to require a third party to verify my transaction, they're gone. You don't need them anymore. And this means that people can be their own banks. They can have their own value, and they can trade and share through these software programs this value. And you can attach anything to the value. It could be a title for a car. It could be a piece of artwork. It could also be your labor. It doesn't matter, because the value is in what is behind it. And the software programs for these crypto software programs are cryptographic numbers, which are proven through the software, not through a person. So what does this mean to you? What it means is you can have value in yourself, and they can't, and your government or the people that give you the money can't really change it. They can't print more of it. They can't close you down. If you have a problem with a bank or you're do something that they don't like, they can take your money right now, right? They just think of Greece. When Greece crashed financially, they went in, and all the people that had savings in the bank, they shaved off like the top 20% of all of their money to pay the bills for the bank, for the problems of the government. They never gave that money back to those people. They lost it. And, they're printing more and more money every day. The printing press is running nonstop in most governments, not just America. And every time they print more money, they devalue the dollar bill in your pocket. So the cryptocurrency is a new technology that's tied to the internet, where we're sharing value online. And since we're buying things online, since Amazon and all these companies work online, having a simplified program for that is really critically important. And there's no way to stop it. It's happening faster and faster, which is why you're hearing so much about it. So my suggestion is, it's very hard to explain, but you should go online and spend a day on YouTube texting, putting in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. What is it? How does it work? And you should watch the videos. There's excellent training and videos about it, because what's happening is big money, banks, institutions, hedge funds, millionaires are buying these cryptocurrencies like crazy. And they're not telling you this. And once they're all bought up, then you're going to have to buy it from them. And that sounds like, authoritarian to me. I'd rather get it now when it's affordable and I could buy little pieces, because what's interesting about digital money in this, within this cryptocurrency, is whether you're Paul Tudor Jones, or whether you're Richard, Kramer, or whether you're the president of a country, you and them have the same ability to buy the funds. It doesn't matter if you're special. And somebody who lives in Nigeria or Ethiopia, who simply has an internet, can buy the same value than somebody who's very, very wealthy. And that levels the playing field. It brings the common man into the mix. So do yourself a favor, learn what you can about it. Maybe I didn't explain it perfectly, but it's all available on YouTube for you to understand. All right. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I want to help you to be prepared for all these financial problems that are coming down the pike when it comes to, running out of the money and the money supplies being overprinted and inflation. Cryptocurrency is one way of offsetting, hedging against that, just like gold and silver is. All right. The next thing, and by the way, you're listening to Dr. Tread Rissacker, Slim Body Laser Spa. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I just want to be very clear. I'm a doctor and I deal with health. but I am a realist and a human, and I want you to be prepared for what's coming down the road. And that's why you should learn all you can about that, what they call Bitcoin, the Bitcoin. All right. So I'm available for free consultations for weight loss and body sculpting. My office is on East Ocean across from the Fresh Market. Free consults. How do you go wrong with that? We have openings from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You'll be there about a half an hour, and you'll watch a 6-minute DVD about the process, about our machine. Then I'll sit down with you personally, and we'll go over your what you know and what you want, and whether I think that the lipo laser could truly be a solution for what it is that's troubling you. Everybody comes in with a problem area, a problem weight area, something that they're struggling with, and our job is to find a solution for that problem, and for that we get paid. It's that simple. So, but you don't have to make any decisions till you come in for that free consultation. All right. So I got a few minutes here, about 10, and I'm going to devote about a few minutes to each one of these topics. Now, I can tell you this, there's a lot of confusion in the world right now. You know, there's a lot of misunderstanding and confusion about the right way to live and the wrong way to live. Am I the only one that sees that? You know, we've had centuries of superstitious and metaphysical and theological dogmatization. Dogmatization means this is what you do, don't question it. And everybody did it, so I did it. That's to be dogma. Dogma is not necessarily truthful. And this is something that is created a world that's in chaos. Our world today is in chaos because of bad choices, bad beliefs, you know, unscientific, unproven things that have taken over. I mean, why are we so sick? Why do we have so much body fat? Why is everybody on some kind of medication? Why are people lining up for a jab in the arm when they don't understand, you know, how well the body works and how it can heal itself? So this is real problems that we're dealing with in the world, and there's answers for it. There is solutions that you can do today to make the world more pleasant and seem better or is better. And that's the purpose of this. So what I'm going to do is these 4 rules are for those who are in need of a workable, livable philosophy of life, and a message that it brings, that your inner faculties, your God part of your body, your Jesus's center of healing and health is within you. It's not outside of you. And you just got to learn what it takes to turn that power on. That's it. And it comes in the beginning with 4 basic rules. Okay? And everybody probably knows them, but they've never had it given to you in any kind of presentation that makes sense. So this is in a book called Rays of the Dawn. You're more than welcome to come into the office. We do have these for sale. They're like $14. And when I do health talks and I work with people that are sick, these 4 laws have to be gone over first before we could give them any treatment, any kind of medical intervention, any kind of, you know, situations. You got to go over these 4 rules. And the first one is called I'll go over them really quick. It's the law of nourishment, the law of movement, the law of recuperation, and the law of sanitation. So the first one, the law of nourishment. We need food that is nourishing to give us life. We eat food to give us the energy to perform work. You know, when you get up in the morning and you go to the bathroom, you take care of your kids and you drive to work and you do all these things, you're burning energy to do that. And the energy that you use comes from the food you eat. Just like a car. A car has gasoline and it powers the motor so it can do work and get you to and from where you want to go. But here's the difference between gasoline for the car and food for your body. The gasoline does not fix or repair the car. It doesn't rebuild it. It doesn't make it last forever. The food you eat gives you energy, but it must also build the body back into better condition. The food you eat also is what eliminates the toxins that you produce from the body working. When you perform work, you're putting out toxins because that's the end product of work. The food you choose to eat also eliminates the toxins, helps to build the tissue, and helps to keep your machine healthy, functioning, and strong for the whole 100 years that you got. Okay? And so food is very, very easy to understand. So what we teach at the Slim Body Laser Spa is there's 4 different food groups. There's groups that are builders, that build strength and tissue, build muscle. There's eliminators, foods that help to eliminate toxins. And then there's foods that cause congestion, sinus problems, coughing, phlegm. And then you have foods that are lubricators, foods that you need for lubrication. So the builders are the proteins, the avocados, the beans, the butter, cheese, eggs, fish, chicken, turkey, meat, basically pork, beef. These are builders because they give you amino acids. The foods that are eliminators that help to get rid of the toxins from the body are all fresh fruit and all fresh green vegetables. Now, except for bananas, they don't clean the body. So fruits, apples, pears, watermelon, melons, they make you, they cause you to reduce, to relieve your bowels, right? They cause you to urinate. That's flushing out the poisons in your body. That's one of the benefits behind fruits. So are fresh green vegetables, and if you have enough of them after eating, then you'll eliminate toxins. Now, the ones you want to eat very sparingly because they cause congestion are all the sugar things, all the processed foods, candy, cereal, gum, soft drinks, anything made from flour, bananas, bread, cake, dried fruits, honey, jams, jellies. These are all congesters. Macaroni, pasta. You need to limit these very sparingly. You need to eat these congesters. And then the lubricators need to be eaten at each meal, and that would be your butter, all oils, and all fats. Now, here's a fact. Most people eat too much starch. That is the reason we have so much sinus trouble, constipation, colds, asthma, cough, colitis, and diseases of congestion. Too much starch. Many people eat too many acid-forming foods. This is the underlying cause of a lot of arthritis, rheumatism, neuritis, aches in the joints, eczema, and skin trouble. Acid-forming foods. That would be too much proteins. The following are current, and so that there's a whole menu for this. The next one would be the law of movement, number 2. This is a law which governs the physical part of every being. Now, movement needs to be natural. We're not talking about going to the gym here and exercising. We're talking about just moving every joint every day in every way, each part of your body. And movement is what distributes the food to the body. It also strengthens the muscles and it helps to lubricate the joints. So if you've got stiff, painful joints, you need to stretch and move more. Maybe a yoga class. Get out and walk. Swimming is a wonderful way to move. Movement is the only distributing agent of the body. Movement brings the food to the body. If you don't move daily, nature will eliminate you. Okay, number 3, the law of recuperation. So this is a great natural law, and it demands that every living creature has a sufficient amount of rest and sleep. During this period of inactivity, the law of recuperation forces the body to repair the damage that has been done throughout the day. So resting and recuperation is what actually causes your body to repair itself from the day before. That's why we lay around a lot. So recuperation is a really important, and a lot of you out there violate the sleep rule. There's rest, there's recreation, and there's sleep. So get out, do something fun, do some recreation. That's as important as sleep, as important as work. But, but not too much, because you have to have a balance. So the law of recuperation is super, super important if you don't want to be sick. The last one is the law of sanitation. The fourth law that governs every physical part of every human being is the law of sanitation. Cleanliness is indispensable in keeping the body healthy, wholesome, and beautiful. Not only does cleanliness affect the body, but it reaches into the mind, soul, and spirit. Now, we spend a lot of time with external cleanliness, showering, making sure we wash ourselves, but how many of us take as much time with internal cleanliness? The drinking of plenty of water, the avoiding of poisons and toxins such as the processed sugars and the sodas and the alcohol. These are toxins that we're putting in your body. So are pills and medicines can be toxins also. So can be the exposure to petroleum stuff. So we need to do inner clean regularly. All right. I got this book in the office if you want to come in and see it. It's called The Rays of the Dawn. And I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be back here next week on Tuesday. Until then, thank you for tuning in to the Slim Body Laser Spa. Love you a lot. See you soon. Bye-bye.